Baruch Hashem, it is day number 318 of our daily study of Rambam, Sefer, HaMitzvos. And in the 3 chapters a day study track of Mishnah Torah, we have started Sefer Shoftim, the 14th of the 14 books of Mishnah Torah. We're in the first section of that book, which is Hilchos Sanhedrin, the laws of the High Court, V'ha'onchin ha'mesurin lahem, and the punishments that were given to them to administer, chapters 16, 17, and 18. We have today 5 mitzvahs, all prohibitions, all negative commandments. Negative 279. Negative 279 is the prohibition against having pity on a murderer, or even not a murderer, but somebody who caused bodily damage, bodily harm. This is a prohibition that is directed toward a judge, that they're not allowed to say, maybe I can take it easy on this person, especially, let's say it was unintentional, and why do we really have to make a big deal out of this, and let's just sort of let it slide? No. Even if there are extenuating circumstances that make the person's situation pitiful, it is not permissible to avoid carrying out whatever Torah dictates is the just verdict. Okay. Negative 277 is the prohibition against favoring a poor litigant. A guy comes to court and he's poor, and you think to yourself, you're the judge, and you say, I don't really think he's got a case, but, what I'll do is I'll rule in his favor, even though I don't think really the facts dictate that I should, and that way he'll win this court case, and he'll have an honorable living from that instead of being a beggar or whatever it is that he is. You're not allowed to do that. You have to rule according to the facts and the way that Torah tells us to deal with those facts. Okay, and we've been learning the very rigorous system of Torah law, especially in the past couple of books, in Sefer Shoftim, Sefer Mishpatim. There are rules how things have to be done. So there you feel compassion? Yeah, you can feel compassion, but you're not allowed to distort justice because you feel bad for one of the litigants. All right. Negative commandment 275 is against favoring an important person. Let's say there's a prestigious guy, a well-known person, a celebrity, a scholar. In the Torah world, a scholar, that's the most prestigious person there could be. And what you do is you show him favoritism in court. Not that necessarily you're going to make the ruling come out in his favor, but just, you give him a little extra honor, like we call it kavod. You give him a little extra kavod in court. What happens, that's totally prohibited. What happens is it makes the other guy feel like chopped liver, and he's not able to present himself properly. He can't really articulate his case properly. You're not allowed to do that. Everybody has to be treated the same. There are no favorites, no favoritism. Everyone has to be given the same treatment. Okay. I should mention also, included in this prohibition is the prohibition against failing to rule against this person. The scenario would be like the judge would say, you know what, it would be embarrassing for him to lose a court case, even though I know really he owes the other guy the money. What I'll do is I'll rule in his favor, and then outside I'll go tell him, by the way, really, you lost. So just, on the side, give him the money because you were supposed to give him. We don't do that. We don't do little side room deals. If you're a judge, you have to rule the way that Torah says to rule. It doesn't matter who the litigants are. Negative 278 is condemning a litigant who is known to be a wicked person. Let's say there's a guy who has a reputation of being a sinner, and he comes to court, and his counter-claimant is a guy who's not a sinner, or maybe even is known as a very upright, moral person. You're not allowed to say, oh, well, I know who's guilty in this case. Of course, it's that sinner. You have to judge each case based on its merits. You cannot come to a conclusion based on the character or the reputation of the litigants. Okay. And finally, negative 273 is the general prohibition against being unrighteous in judgment. It is prohibited for a judge to distort justice or deviate from Torah law in any way. That is a prohibition. You have to rule the way the Torah says to rule. Don't play games, even if you have some compelling reason why you feel like different scenarios where your heart goes out to a certain person or a certain scenario. It's all well and good, but the law is the law. If you're a judge, you have to rule according to the law. Okay, those are our mitzvahs for today. We'll see you for more tomorrow, God willing.